Okay, so we're making our first video for exam 0, the review. As follows, we've got to go to a new piece of paper. Okay, here we go. So the title is the exam 0 review. This is our first page of it. There's probably going to be a few of these videos. Anyway, and we're in spring 21. Okay, here comes problem number 1 to start preparing for exam 0. What have you got? This is a word problem. It's very similar to the very beginning of the semester that we did problems like that. Anyway, shop sold 234 Cokes and Pepsis, right, all together. There's 234 altogether of their Cokes and Pepsis. Okay, the number of Cokes sold was twice, well, let's put it in English, twice the number of Pepsis. Okay, capital, not capital. Let's not worry about it. Now, here's the question. Here's the question that needs to be answered. How many Pepsis sold? How many Pepsis were sold? Let me just keep it very simple. How many Pepsis sold? Question mark. Here's how to deal with it. First of all, let's designate that X is going to be equal to the number of Pepsis. X will be our number of Pepsis. You could call it Y, Z, whatever you want, but as you know, I favor X. So X is equal to the number, let me make that a little clearer, the number of Pepsis. That's what we'll designate X to mean. Okay, so how do we set up this equation? Well, twice the number of Pepsi, that's how many Cokes were. So if X is the Pepsis, and then the Cokes were 2 times that would be 2x. So you put them add them all together, and this shop sold 234 of them. So it's a pretty straightforward equation that we need to set up. The number of Pepsis, and then the number of Cokes, which is twice the number of Pepsis, 2 times the number of Pepsis. Add them all up together, and 234 were sold. That's all that really is necessary here. Okay, excuse me. 3x, add them together, is 234. Divide by 3 on left, divide by 3 on right, and we get x is equal to 78, if I'm not mistaken. X is equal to 78, and there is the answer for the number of Pepsis. The number of Pepsis is 78 Pepsis were sold. Now, as far as Alex is concerned, let me tell you a couple of things about Alex that you might see on when you take the test. First of all, important to know, and you probably all know this, but it doesn't matter, I want to repeat it anyway, that if you go like this, you can erase what you just did. And if you don't like your answer, or you don't like something that you wrote, or your calculation, you can just get rid of it all with erase. Alex will have that. They'll also have, usually in the right-hand corner, a little calculator icon. Of course, I can't draw anything. And when they let you use a calculator, they'll have the calculator. And a problem like this, I think even a problem like this, they'll let you use a calculator. Okay, so it'll be on the right hand side, I believe. Okay, let's move down and do some more stuff on this piece of paper. Hold on. I don't know why this is. Oh, I know why it's happening to me, I think. Sorry about that. This picks it up. Yeah. Okay. No, there's no use. We're not short of paper here. So let's just go to a second piece of paper. Okay, problem number 2. And there's why clutter a piece of paper. I mean, I don't mind cluttering it a little bit, but why bother when we can just get a new fresh page? All right, so here comes another word problem. So you got a rented car. You're renting a rented car. That's the deal. That's the story we're talking about. Okay, there's a base fee. If you take this car, then there's a base fee that no matter what, if you do 0 miles, you still have to pay $14.95. $14.95. This is all in dollars, of course. My dollar sign is lousy. This one is a little bit better than usual. $14.95. Okay, that's your base fee, no matter what, even with 0 miles on the car. Okay, 72 cents. Let me put 72 cents for each mile that you use on this rented car. 72 cents for each mile. Okay, now the total when the person brought back the rented car, the total cost turned out to be $146 again, 146.71. Okay, here's the question. Here comes the question. How many miles did he drive? How many miles did he drive? Okay, there we go. Okay, so now let's set up our equation. No matter what happens, you got to pay $14.95, even if you do no miles whatsoever. $14.95. Okay, now after that you start driving. So we're going to designate X as our miles. X equals the miles. We don't know how many miles yet. How many miles did he drive? So that's what we're looking for. So we're going to say X is equal to our miles. Now, what's 72 cents? Here's our scrap paper work here. What's our 72 cents? Do not leave it as 72 cents. What's this? This is in dollars. This is in dollars. You can't write 72 now. You got to write 72 cents is equal to 0.72. We got to talk the same language. They got to talk dollars. If this is talking dollars and that's talking dollars, so 72 cents has to be talking dollars. This is very important. This is a very important part of this problem, that we convert the 72 cents into dollars, 0.72. Now we can finish our equation over here. Let's come back over here, finish our equation. So it's going to be $14.95 no matter what, even if you do nothing. Then it's going to be 0.72 cents a dollar, 0.72 of a dollar, right? Converted into dollars, 72 cents, for every single mile times 100 miles, times 50 miles, no matter how many miles you drive, it's 72 cents plus the base fee. Now, how much was this person's total cost? It turned out to be 146.71, and there's our equation. That tells the whole story. The base fee, 72 cents every mile, and this was the total cost. And now, what do they want to know? How many miles did he drive? X equals miles. Let's go find X. How many miles did he drive? Okay, step one. Minus 14.95 on the left. We're just solving this linear equation. Minus 14.95 on the left and minus 14.95 on the right. This is gone. This becomes 0.72x. And my scrap paper work over here. How much is 146.71 minus 14.95? Then you'll have a calculator. They'll give you a calculator for a problem like this, I believe. I'm quite sure. You'll have a calculator. I'm doing without a calculator. 11 minus 5 is 6. 6 minus 9 is 7. 5 minus 4 is 1. And 4 minus 1 is 3. And we get 131.76. 131.76. Okay, we still haven't found X yet. We have to know how many miles. Divide the left-hand side by 0.72. That'll be gone. And whatever you do to the left, divide the other side by 0.70, the right-hand side by 0.72. This I actually use the calculator for. I'll admit, I didn't want to bother doing that by hand. And what do we get? X is equal to 183 miles. That's the amount of miles. This is the final answer for problem number 2, another word problem. Okay, let me lift this up and see if we have any room for another one. Problem number 3. No, again, it's not worth it. Let me just go to another clean page. Okay, here we go with the clean page. There we go. Now, problem number 3 takes us to sets, right? The exam won't necessarily be in any order of how we did things. It can jump around. Well, here we go. Here's a set problem. A is equal to minus 26, minus 25, minus 24, minus 23, end of set. This is in roster method, right? We talk about brackets, roster method, and there's no ellipsis, so it doesn't continue. That's all that's in the set. That's all that's in there. There's no ellipsis here. That's set A. B, set B. Set B is in English. Descriptive method is how they called it. So let me write in total English without those equal sign. B is the set of integers, okay, that are greater than -5, greater or equal, that are greater or equal. I'll put it all in English. I'd rather put just the greater or equal sign, but I'll just do it in English. That are greater or equal to -5, I'm sorry, to -5, and less than or equal to 2, to +2. Okay, here's our questions. A, question number 1. The cardinalities, if they give us the vocabulary word, you'll see that vocabulary word cardinalities. Okay. Meaning they want the number of elements in the set. If they just write n of a, then you know that they're looking for the cardinality. What's the n of a, meaning the number of elements in set A? The answer is, here's the answer, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple. There's our answer. What's the n of b? The n of b is equal to, well, this you have to sort this out. -5 is an integer, right? It's greater or equal to, right? So -5, what's greater than -5? -4. -3, you can count on your fingers. -3, -2, -1. 0 is still an integer. And then it's got to be less than or equal to 2. So keep going, 1 and 2. That's a total of 8. Count them on your fingers. -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. And because you can be equal to either negative, we'll take if you're equal to -5, we'll take if you're equal to 2. So there's a total of 8. So that's the cardinality of B, and there's the answer. Okay, that was step A in 3. Here comes the second part of B. Here's the question. Is -19 an element? Remember that sign there? Is that an element of a true or false? -19. Is -19 in A? Absolutely not. This is false. You answer false. So here's one answer. Our answer's all over here. Here, that's false. Next question. Is -2 an element of B? Is -2 an element of B? -2, yes. -5, -4, -3, -2, it's between -5 and 2. So negative it's an element of B. So you write true. Next, is -26 an element of A? Look up there. -26 is definitely an A. True. Next, is 6 not an element? Be careful with this. It says not an element. So is it a true statement to say 6 is not an element of B? Well, the 6 is definitely past 2, so it's not in B. So it is a true statement that 6 is not in B. And I got to end this video. Ran out of time. Got to get it up to YouTube eventually.